He went up so that others could come down. This is the haunting and heroic story of the man in the red bandana. Viewer discretion is advised. September 11th, 2001. At 9:12 a.m., approximately 9 minutes after Flight 175 crashed to the South Tower, the mother of this man here, Wells Crowther, would receive a phone call from her son. Wells Crowther worked on the 104th floor of the South Tower. He was an equities trader. When he was a young kid, his father gave him his signature red bandana. And ever since his dad gave it to him, he wore it every chance he could. He wore it underneath all of his sports uniforms at school. When he was 16 years old, he became a junior member of the Empire Hook and Ladder Company. His father was a volunteer firefighter. He would also end up becoming a talented lacrosse player, before finding his way to the 104th floor of the World Trade Center as an equities trader. Wells was a good man, a great man. He cared about others, and as it turns out, he was willing to sacrifice his life to save others. I had never heard this story before. At 9:12 a.m., he calls his mother and tells her, quote, "Mom, this is Wells. I wanted you to know that I'm okay." After the plane had hit and the elevators at a certain point in the building of the South Tower were no longer able to work, Wells managed to find his way down to the 78th floor. When he got there, he encountered a group of people who were badly injured, who were unable to move. One of those individuals being this woman here. Her name is Ling Young. When the second plane hit her building, she, along with a bunch of other people, were waiting for an elevator. But once the plane hit, that elevator was not going to work anymore. When from the smoke, she sees a man, what turns out to be Wells Crowther. He had another person, a woman, on his back. He led her and the other survivors there to a stairwell that was still in operation. I believe the stairwell was on the 78th floor, and he managed to get several people there who were then able to get to safety. And then he went back up. This is a recreation of it, but when he made his way back up, now that the building is more engulfed in smoke, he takes out his signature red bandana that he always brought with him everywhere he went. He put it over his face, and he went right back into the destruction. One witness said that when she saw Wells come out, he immediately went to go help put out the fires on that floor. He also went to victim to see if any one of them needed help, and he would administer first aid to them. He then was heard saying to others, quote, "Everyone who can stand, stand now. If you can help others, do so." He then led and carried other survivors back to the stairwell and told them that they can get down from there. And then he went back up. At this point, he was seen in the company of other firefighters, and he was not going to back down. He was going to go help. Unfortunately, this time, it was the last time. At 9:59 a.m., the South Tower, the second tower to be hit and the one that Wells was in, collapsed, taking anyone and everyone who was in it to the ground below. This included Wells Crowther. In 2002, his body would end up being recovered, still adorning his signature red bandana. Unbelievably, his body was actually found intact, and around him they found the bodies of firefighters. There were no signs of burns on his body, and by all accounts, he was up there helping people until the very last second, giving many people a chance to survive. He sacrificed his life to save strangers, because that's the person he was. They know for sure that Wells saved the lives of at least 18 people, if not more. 18 people who needed someone to carry them or show them where to go. And if had it not been for him, those 18 people may not be here today. He was a hero, about as heroic as a person could possibly get. A true avenger. There is a movie called The Man in the Red Bandana. I have never watched it. I had never heard of the story before, so I'm going to need to find it if I can. I'm going to watch it. And of course, his name is on the memorial, which people will tend to put red bandanas over his name. And it looks like his actual red bandana here is on display. I wish I knew that level of courage. Each time he went back up those stairs, he knew that he could die, but he did it anyway. Now, 18, maybe 20, 25 families, right? They have their loved ones because of him. He didn't go to work that morning expecting to be a hero, but that is exactly what he became.